Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. All right, it's Friday, so it's PowerPoint Day. For my new friends out there, I used to do this from 1985 to 2019, project this onto the wall, give a little Dharma discourse before we got into the asana practice. So this is called In It for the Long Haul. That's the first thing. Be in it for the long haul, if you have it in you. Path is a long one, ups and downs, so you got to be a trucker. And you probably could write your own little autobiography like this guy, right? The Trucker's Tales of Life on the Road. It'll be your tale of life, and life is my life has been. All right, now we're all struggling with what I would call facing the dvandvas, the pairs of opposites, with Kali, right, licking your blood, killing you. But on the other side, she's the golden goddess. So as she dazzles, delights, and disturbs, you have to put up with this. No one is free from facing the divine Shakti. Now, we all have an amazing variety of human beings. Skin color, mindset, geographical location and culture, the coat of many colors. It's beautiful in a certain way if you're willing to love all of us all over the globe and see us as a planetary family. Now, I love this quote from Rudolf Nureyev, one of the great ballet stars in his day. It says, when I miss a class for one day, I know it. When I miss a class for 2 days, my teacher knows it. When I miss a class for 3 days, the audience knows it. So for those of you who are practicing, it's amazing how the vibration, the frequency that you emit from yourself, unself-consciously, like a flower sending out a fragrance. It has no mind to do that. It just can't help itself. So mastery of the body in some way shows a certain kind of spirituality, kinesthetic intelligence. So keep practicing and see what that means for you. All right. Able to feel and know what otherwise you would not be able to feel and know. This is the point of view of being with the master. This was the old series by Andrei Segovia, master classical guitar player. He would have the best of the world come to study with him. You'd listen to them playing and think like, wow, they're flawless. But only the master would say, no, 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 you don't have the beat, you don't have the timing, you don't have the nuance. How else you can know that? Unless you're with someone who can help you feel what currently you can't know or feel. Now, unfortunately, if in the world you have your sense of yourself as a commodity, something to be sold, and that's what we call Maya, the apparitional aspect. It appears to be this way in the phenomenal world, but there's something deeper than that. Then you're really world weary for the job ahead, for the task ahead. And then, unfortunately, people get involved in what I call soul-deadening livelihoods, going nowhere, just putting up with it in order to just make do. And there's something that's lost irretrievably if you stay on that path. Now, family is supposed to be the abiding love and safety net for everybody. I wish it were so. Unfortunately, the annals of psychopathology often show you things get confused, messed up, brutalized, abusive. And that's why they say rarely are two people in the same family born under the same roof. Sometimes you have to seek the family of affiliation, like the ugly duckling. How did your egg get into this nest? And then you got to find your own. Realize, of course, as long as you try to be something other than the swan that you are, you'll think of yourself as an ugly duckling. So if you have a great family life, more power to you. But if you don't, find your family of affiliation, which will be your spiritual lineage and not your biological DNA bloodkin. Now, just like the old scripture says, you're the bow and you're the arrow. The yoga is the bow, and you're the arrow. Archers, get ready. Let go. You got to aim for the target. In the old Zen archery way, you train in such a way where no matter where you are, you're facing the target. And you don't even have to release the arrow. You already hit the center. Figure that out. Anyway, all of us have an animating principle that's delicate, must be protected and nurtured. Similar to Pinocchio, who wanted to be a real boy. So isn't there something in us that's wooden, stiff, and acts like a puppet with other people pulling the strings? And yet, isn't there an impulse inside ourselves that wants to be free and real? Follow that. I love this quote from Charlotte Bronte: intelligence and proper education will give you independence of spirit. Yes, you got to think for yourself, question authority. Hold on to the independence of your spirit and your individual voice. I know it sounds selfish at the beginning, but please yourself. You can't please everyone. And besides, if you try to be a people pleaser, in some way you'll hate yourself for not being true to you and just sucking up to other people. So Svadharma, do your own path first, and you'll find out how to lead you to the bridge of compassion. Now, passionate ideas are important to articulate, okay? To keep your passion up. A lot of people don't like Jordan Peterson, and that's okay, but he did a fantastic metaphoric reading of the Bible that makes you realize it's a psychological relevance and not just whether or not it's a historical belief system. What does it do to your psyche? What are these great images, impulses, ideas? Be passionate about it. If you're lukewarm, as it says in the Bible, I spit you out of my mouth. I spew you out of my mouth. Get on fire for this. That's the only way to have it really make a change in your life. I love this other quote from Norman Cousins. This is the guy who laughed himself back into health when he was given up for terminal illness. People are never more insecure when they become obsessed with their fears at the expense of their dreams. Your position sometimes never seems secure, not even in your dreams. The Irish say the only security is insecurity. But your dreams, your imagination, it's not superstition. It's the blueprint of what you could become. So are you going to work for it? Like they say, purpose of imagination is to build sandcastles in the sky, and the purpose of reality is to put foundations underneath them. All right, disappointments can alchemicalize you. Suffering often leads you to wanting to see something deeper, something greater, something broader, something vaster. And so you got to learn to create a frame, right? A view through which you see things, the window through which you see the world. It's called a darshan in yoga. So if you don't let things depress you, break you, bowl you over, buffalo you, turn you off, knock the wind out of your sails, then you can find your path. So no more excuses, just moving on. Familiarize yourself with the strange and the mystic. Don't take them for granted. Or as I like to say simply, do good and keep it weird. Do good and keep it weird. And then bravely face your fears. Their laughter will melt your heart. Their strength will make a grown person cry. If you ever see a child fight cancer, it'll change your life forever. Early in my life, I understood this through hospice. How do you find the brave face in the face of your fears? And if you do, maybe you'll have faith in the future, and you'll want to pass over the growing plant to the next generation. Find your way of doing that. Thanks a lot for meeting with me. Have a great day. I'll speak to you soon.